All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by. All right, welcome back to the show. Today we're joined by Joe, a member of our OffBeat team, and my boy David, who gave me the idea for this episode. Welcome, David.
Yes, sir. Let's do
it. Today we're gonna be going some Hall of Fame or Nots NBA edition. So we're gonna go through some players that are towards the end of their careers or like retired, and some that are like maybe in their primes right now, and then some young players, and talk about whether we think if their career ended right now they'd be a Hall of Famer or in the future they're going to be a Hall of Famer. So we can get into it. First we got Rajon Rondo. What are we thinking?
I mean, like, he hasn't played a crazy long time, but he's always been really effective, even like with his limited role. He's kind of been like a Dennis Rodman role for his team, so I got him in the Hall of Fame.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna second that because I think he's got the two championships. I think if it was just the '08 finals, then maybe not. But I think that the finals with the Lakers kind of showed that he still kind of got it, and he still can be effective in the league. And so I know obviously that team was like a juggernaut, so it wasn't like him like doing a whole lot. But I think that he's still gonna get it, and he did a lot. He did a lot with the Celtics. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm going to go with a yes, too. Like, say what you want about assist numbers, because those can be like, you pass the ball 12 times, and 10 of those times it's an assist. But at the same time, to average as many assists per game, especially per 36 minutes, if you look at the time where he was not a starter in his career, it's so impressive. Like, it beats out almost everybody. So I'm going to have to say yes. And defensively, too, he had a number of years where he was, top 5 in steals in the league. So.
He was a steal champ, and he was a 3-time assist champ too.
Yeah, I gotta give it to him. I don't see why not.
I mean, in a different era too, he was with LeBron. So I mean, LeBron's always going to be at the top of the assist numbers, at least in the top 10. Same with steals, and
yeah,
Rondo had him beat as a smaller player too. It's impressive.
All right, we can move on to the next one. So Dwight Howard, I'm gonna go with a yes. I think winning that chip was huge for him because it rejuvenated his career. And I think he was effective when he was younger too with the Magic. Defensive Player of the Year and got to a finals. I think he's gonna get it. I don't know if he 100% deserves it, but I think he'll get in.
I would say he deserves it. I mean, I'm pretty sure Dwight had Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. I don't know if he won it 3 years in a row. I don't think he did, but he's got 3 of them. That's a lot. I know Hakeem doesn't even have that. So, like, when he was young, he was pretty dominant, and he took some pretty, like, if you look at the roster, it doesn't have any, like, really crazy names. I mean, like, early 2000s had a lot of good players that were good for, like, a season or two, but not, like, long-term. And he did get them to a finals. They lost to Kobe, but, like, it's Kobe, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Joe, what you thinking?
I think he deserves it. I don't know if he's going to get it. No, I'm not sure whether or not he will. I can't put a definite yes or a definite no. I think he deserves it, especially based on the first half of his career, especially his time with Orlando. But, he did have that significant sharp decline after the Lakers. He goes to the Lakers, has his one season with the Lakers from the 2012 to 2013 season. And after that, he really had the sharp decline. And I think he deserves Hall of Fame for what he's done. It's just that might hold him back. So honestly,
that's what my problem with like the whole D Rose situation is. I know we did a post about it. I know Casper, you're like one of the biggest D Rose fans there is, but like I don't know. That's why I struggled giving it to D Rose because he had a great start to his career, but then there was a drop off where he was injured and like he was just like meh for a while, and it's just kind of like it makes it difficult to like doing it like because he had such a great like start to his career where it was like, oh, he's definitely gonna be a Hall of Famer, but then there was like it was like, well, now like I don't know, and I don't know, and I think so. Like what I said in that post is like, I think he'll get it. I think he'll get in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he deserves it, but I think he'll get in.
Are you saying Derrick Rose or Dwight Howard?
Derrick Rose.
Yeah, because I remember we were saying that we were going to talk about him later, so we can get to that after.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get down to that him and eventually, but next I think this one's pretty much like given Carmelo Anthony from dominating the NBA or dominating college ball, the NBA and USA basketball because it's the basketball Hall of Fame, it's not just the NBA. Dominated international ball, college and the NBA. I think that's a given. I think he's definite.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think
Uh,
that at every level he's played at, I mean, even his time in high school at Oak Hill, you can look at that too. I mean, he's dominated the game at every level. Say what you want about how he's tailed off since playing in New York, but I mean, he was kind of past his prime. You expect players to fall off, and he's starting to pick it back up recently. Uh, just shows he's got some gas left in the tank, and shows how truthfully how skilled he is as a player that he's able to make that adjustment in his game to continue to play at a high level. So I think
yeah. So these are some more current players. Like they got a lot left in them. I think. But like, not even necessarily if their career ended right now, but like we could. But like Kyrie, I think honestly, if his career ended right now, I think he would. Even though he does have a bunch of years left, I think he'll get it. And I think even if it ended right now, he'd get it.
you never know with that guy though. I mean, he could retire next week just because he has a revelation. So
Yeah,
I mean, that
I
one's
I hate I hated Kyrie like, but honestly, like can't deny the way he played basketball and like in Cleveland, won a finals, won Rookie of the Year. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Plus, he didn't just win a finals. Like he was a huge part of that. Like
Yeah,
you can't
he was the
like
second
obviously
guy.
LeBron's the star, but you can't not look at Kyrie too in that series.
Mhm. Next, Dame. I think he'll get it. I think he'll get it. I don't think if right now he'd get it but if he keeps dominating for a few more years, I think he'll get into the Hall of Fame even without winning a Finals or an MVP. I think he still could get in just because of how dominant he's been, and he's playing against some of like the best players in history, like going up against like MVP like caliber like LeBron. Like it's hard to win an MVP when LeBron, Embiid, KD, Steph, all those guys are in the conversation. It's really, really hard to win an MVP. So I think I think he'll get in by the end of his career.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he retired right now, he might squeak in just based on stats alone. Because if you look at his stats, like he's averaged 20 almost his whole career. Like he's just a bucket. Everybody knows that. But he doesn't have enough yet. But he's also really young, so that's fair.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if I look at Dame, I see a player that's consistently underrated. I mean, the fact that he's third in the MVP race right now and isn't even an all-star starter. I mean, I think people are going to look back at Damian Lillard and they're going to
Yeah,
see it.
that's a different conversation, but that was bullshit.
But yeah, they're going to. Your mother's going to see that and she's going to get mad, Cross.
I don't know if my
Ah,
mom. I don't know if my mom watches these.
But
I know Ken does.
I was saying that
Okay.
Damian Lillard is a player that you're going to look back at later on down the line. He was a mid-major college player who came to the NBA mid-first round and took over an organization on his shoulders and consistently, pretty much. I mean, obviously he's got a team now, but he leads that team and he does it at such a high level. And he's such a smart player and he works so hard and still underrated. And I think he might be rewarded later on down the line. Even if he doesn't make a finals appearance in his career, win an MVP or any of that, I think he will be rewarded Hall of Fame with.
Yeah. Next is Giannis. I think if his career ended right now, he'd be a Hall of Famer. He's just been dominating the league for the last like 4 or 5 years. He's got MVPs to back it up, Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know. He's just killing it. I mean, he's so dominant. Teams are still trying to figure out how to contain him. It's he's good. I mean, and if he develops a shot, he'll be extremely deadly.
He's built
He kind
different.
of he kind of reminds me of T Mac a little bit. Not like his play style, just like regular season, like it's a joke. But like postseason, it's like completely different story. Only because Giannis is so dominant. But if a team has 7 games to focus on him, like you can probably figure it out. Like teams have been doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been struggling in the playoffs. But I think even without that, I think he's dominated regular season enough to get there.
Oh yeah.
Then we got well, I'm just gonna join these two together because I think both of them are pretty straightforward. But Mark and Pau Gasol, I think both of them are Hall of Famers. Both of them have been great in international ball and in the league. Pau won some finals. Mark won Defense Player of the Year and was on that gritty Grizzlies team with Mike Conley. And I think both of them are Hall of Famers for sure.
He did. Mark got a ring too. He got one recently with Kawhi.
Oh yeah, I not even thinking of that, but yeah, he got a ring too. I think honestly that definitely put him over the top. So I think both of them get in.
Honestly, I mean, if I look at both of them, I think they both get in, but for slightly different reasons too. I mean, Pau Gasol was, like the Pippen. Like if you look at the team, you look at that Lakers team, right, with Kobe. Kobe's the Jordan, the Pippen's Gasol, and like the way they worked together was fantastic. It was awesome. But he was like a supporting piece that did a great job in his role. Marc Gasol truthfully transformed the way that the center position is played. He's part of that movement that kind of changed over like the past 5, 6, 7 years from, just like back to the basket kind of centers to like a free floating kind of five. So I mean that's something else to look at is Mark was kind of like revolutionary. It's kind of a strong term, and I don't really want to apply that, but I can't think of a different way to put it. But he truthfully did change the game.
I think I kind of know what you're saying. I wouldn't say he's revolutionary, but I think he adapted his game well because he was a back-to-basket face-up, but he turned into like a modern five. I think that's kind of what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, and he kind of like he led the face of it too. Like he did it before it was like a do it or you're not going to be on a roster kind of deal.
Oh, I did it before I was cool.
Yeah, exactly. He did it before it was cool. He before it was funny. That kind of deal.
All right. I'm gonna start naming off some ones that I think are for sure, so we can kind of like get through this. So Ginobili, I think is definite.
Yeah.
I don't any arguments there.
Nope.
We're gonna go Gilbert Arenas. I think he's in. I don't see why not.
He should be. He's not gonna because of the situation that he had in Washington, which everyone knows about. Yeah. That's the only reason that he's not gonna make it.
Oh, you don't think he will?
I think he will for his numbers, but I don't think the NBA Hall of Fame will let him in just because of that.
Well, it's not NBA, it's basketball.
But still, it's like something like that. It's like they might. That's the only thing. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I'm a huge Hibachi fan. I just don't. Yeah. I just think that'll keep him out.
Yeah, I agree with you because there are people that come into the Hall of Fame not even as players or coaches or owners, but as like contributors to the game. So, and usually they look at the character of those people too. So if you're looking at his character, which this isn't to say that he's necessarily a bad person, it's just that is a poor reflection of his character, the whole situation in the locker room. So they'll look at that and it will negatively reflect on his status.
Yeah. I think James Harden, I think he will. I mean, he's dominating the game still, and I think he'll probably get a ring within the next couple of years. He got an MVP. Then Kawhi, I think is for sure. I wouldn't see why not. Get a couple finals, finals MVPs, defensive player of the year. Yeah, his thing right now would get him in. Anthony Davis, I think will get in. He'll probably win a few more rings. He's got a defensive player of the year. Then we go. What?
When did he win defensive player of the year?
Did he? Oh no, he was a finalist for it. My bad. And then I'm gonna go Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson will get in
for sure.
Yeah. I don't see why not. Then Derrick Rose. Do you want to talk Derrick Rose right now?
Yeah, we can.
All right.
I'm assuming that I'm gonna be the guy that's advocating for D Rose the most, but
I already gave my pick. I think he'll get in. I don't think he deserves it. you guys can give your thing to it, but I don't think he deserves it.
I think he
What do you-
deserves it, but I don't think he'll get in. I'm the opposite of you. I think he deserves it based on what he's done because what happened to him was unfortunate, and it's one of those things that you can't reward a player on what he didn't do, but you can still recognize like the level of player that he was. There are people out there that it's like it's all about the potential. It's like oh, had they not gotten injured, what would they have been like Grant Hill? But D Rose, it was clear what kind of player he was. He was cut during his prime, not even right before it. Like you can tell what kind of player he was and what he would have contributed to the game. And honestly, like I think he deserves it, but I don't think he'll get in because they'll look at all those lost years and the decline once he came back.
Yeah, so me and Cross talked about D Rose a lot, and like my biggest thing is like the Allen Iverson effect. So like if you think about Allen Iverson, right? He didn't just change basketball like play wise. He also did it like style wise, culture wise. Like he did so much more than just playing on the court. Like I heard someone once say that like sometimes you can judge a player based on how many people want to be them. Because like if you look at someone like LeBron or KD, think about how many kids want to be like them, right? Like when Derrick Rose comes on the scene, like when he was an MVP, everybody wanted to be D Rose. And it was really similar because like prior to D Rose, there was a lot of scoring in the NBA, but you didn't have a lot of like crazy flashy point guards that were actually good. Because like you had the Baron Davis and Gilbert Arenas, but they weren't like athletic and dominant, leading a team somewhere like Derrick Rose was. Yeah. So I think that's a huge thing that you should take into account.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. Like no kid growing up says I want to be Gilbert Arenas. I want to be Mike Conley.
You know what? I want to be Mike Conley. I want to be Gilbert Arenas.
Nobody wants to be Mike Conley. You're the only one.
You're literally the only one.
His kids probably don't even want to be Mike Conley.
No, they'd rather be D Rose.
Man, that's a strong statement.
It's like, yo, who's your favorite player? Like, imagine him asking like Mike Conley the third, like, who's your favorite player? He's like Steph Curry.
Honestly, probably is. So I think. Anyway, all right, ready? Kevin Love. Yes, I have yes. I mean,
it's questionable. I think he'd get in.
I think he'll get in.
Yeah.
Won a ring. The pretty dominant power forward. I think he'll get in. Well, we just talked about him, but Mike Conley.
No.
I don't think he'll get in. I mean, I think he could. I think he could. Might just slip in just because he was a part of that Grizzlies squad, but I don't think he will.
I love Mike Conley to death. I praise him all the time. Like Blacktop. When I'm playing 2K, I'm playing Blacktop. I pick Mike Conley from those old Grizzlies teams. Like his kind of play it's sweet. But like,
honestly, if he wins a ring with Utah somehow, like soon, he could slip in because he's having a good season.
Yeah, it's just that contract, that awful. Yeah. What, $36 million?
Yeah. All right.
I just don't see that at all.
I think Westbrook's for sure.
Yeah.
Triple double machine. I don't see why he wouldn't. Tony Parker for sure. Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I say
yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think he'll get in. I think that ring helps. I'm gonna go no on this one. I don't think he gets in. I actually don't. He's been good, but I don't think he's done enough for the game. I don't think he's had the impact as a point guard as like these other guards in the league in like the last like 10 to 15 years. I don't think he's done enough. I mean, he won a championship, but he couldn't do that until Kawhi came. And now that Kawhi's gone, they've been struggling. And like Kyle Lowry's playing well, but he's not like carrying a team like Steph or Dame right now.
I will
it's also not the Raptors system though. That's never really been the Raptors system, is to have one guy carry them. It's always been like a team effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but I will say with
yeah.
Kyle Lowry, the thing that does help him at least like make a case for him, not only just the ring, but also the fact that if you look at how long it took for him to finally break out, the fact that he stayed in the league and continued to just work and work and work, they may look at that and they may look at the amount of years he was able to contribute as he was past prime. I mean, his physical prime, he was past his physical prime for sure, and he was putting up even better numbers. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's impressive. And it's something that you don't see from really anybody else in the history of the game, at least at that level. So that might be the thing that gives him some sort of a boost, but I don't think he gets in. I think he might deserve it, but I don't think he gets in.
All right, these are going rapid fire. We won't debate them too much. But Lou Williams, I think he'll get in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Then Paul George, I think will get in. I don't see why not.
I think he will get in, but not right now.
Yeah, not right now. I think he will eventually. I'm gonna put these two together, but DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. I don't think either will get in.
I think Blake will. DeAndre no.
I don't know.
Oh, you think Blake will?
He was so good when he first got in the league.
Yeah, but it didn't last long.
I mean, it lasted like 6-7 years, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, that team never really went anywhere. You gotta look at where the team went to, because it's almost like empty numbers. Like they did well, but they weren't able to really put anything up.
I don't know. I think I always thought Blake Griffin was kind of overrated.
Well, I did too. I just don't think he was bad.
I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's Hall of Fame caliber. I don't think he's Hall of Fame caliber.
He was a highlight player, so you heard his name more, you saw his face more, you saw him play more. But there were people that put up better numbers and did more for their team.
Yeah. Jamal Crawford. I know this may be a hot take, but I don't think he will.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Lou Will gets in if Jamal doesn't. Jamal's better.
I think Lou Will's done more in his career than Jamal.
Not really. They're probably done about the same. I mean, Jamal.
Actually, yeah, they're probably fairly similar.
I mean, Jamal is an extra 6 man, and he has the most in history, so they'll probably look at that.
Yeah, maybe then. Yeah, maybe he'll get in. Draymond, I think will get in. This may not be a very popular pick for people, but I think he'll get in. That Warriors dynasty is incredible, and they're still going.
See, that's the thing is he contributed so much to that team, so much to that dynasty that I think he has a chance. But I don't know. They're going to look at it and they're going to say, okay, obviously he did a lot for this team.
He has 3 rings and a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, but at the same time,
that's more than Marc Gasol.
Right, but Marc Gasol, I'd argue he was more of a contributor overall to his team, his particular team.
I would too, but I mean, Marc Gasol was like the second or first guy on the Grizzlies team, but Draymond did all that as a third and fourth option. He won a Defensive Player of the Year and got 3 rings, I think, and he was a huge piece in those rings. So
I'm not saying Draymond doesn't get in. I'm just saying that one's iffy for me. I personally wouldn't say yes. I wouldn't say no. It's more, I don't know.
So Joe, are you okay with Dennis Rodman being in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
So why wouldn't you put Draymond in?
Dennis Rodman, if you look at his numbers alone, his numbers are substantially better in terms of rebounding and defensive numbers.
I don't know if Draymond's defensive numbers might be similar.
I don't know. For me, it's not like.
I mean, I don't have them in front of me, but I mean, I think if the Warriors compete once Klay comes back, the Warriors are going to be right back in the Western Conference talk. I think, and I think they're gonna in the offseason, they're gonna have another pick. They're gonna have a really high pick because whose pick do they have? They have somebody's pick, and it's it's gonna be a high one.
This is it for me. It's if Draymond gets in, I'm not against it, but I'm not pushing for him either.
That's fair.
Oh, we have Minnesota's. We have the Golden State is Minnesota's pick next year.
So probably number 1.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna add another top draft pick. Wiseman's gonna be developing. Wiggins and Oubre have been pretty good. Clay's coming back. I don't know. I think and Draymond's going to be contributing, so I don't know. I think he gets in. So I think, all right, I'll go these two together too. DeRozan and Aldridge. I don't think either gets in.
I got Aldridge. I don't have DeRozan.
I don't think either gets in.
I don't have either one of them, but Aldridge is a better chance. I mean, they're both great players. They're both. I mean, Aldridge is like borderline for me, but the problem with DeRozan is he's such a one-dimensional kind of scorer, whereas everybody else has developed their game to include a shot, at least somewhat. And I
Yeah.
mean, he cannot shoot outside of mid-range.
Yeah. Al Horford.
I say
I don't
yes.
think so.
I say yes.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna go no. I don't know if
I
he's done
want to say
enough.
yes.
Yeah, but I don't think he's done enough. There's no really like. Oh well, no, because it is NBA or it is Basketball Hall of Fame, and he did win back-to-back college national championships. Like, I don't know. You could consider that. I mean, Andy's had a solid NBA career.
This is my argument for Horford in the Hall of Fame. Back-to-back college championships at Florida, where his teammate was Joakim Noah. I mean, that was like his big name teammate.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the NBA, not only did he have his time with Boston, where he adapted his game to be a solid contributor, like a star, but all those years with the Hawks too, where they were a solid team and he was their guy. And I mean, he's a 6'9" center that he was a top rebounder in the league. And over time, he became less of a rebounder, more of a contributor on the offensive end. But, overall, like he's had like a two-sided career. He's like two different players and he adapted very well.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could. I don't know. I don't think he will, but I think he could. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Then last one for like this section, Joe Johnson.
For sure.
Yeah, I think he gets. I think he gets in. I don't know if he's. I don't know. I feel like this one's like a toss up. This one he could like or he might not. Like I feel like he's had a better like after NBA career than anything.
Like Joe Johnson
with the big three, the TBT, and now he's playing in that USA thing.
Well, Joe Johnson was like 7-8-time All-Star like in a row.
Yeah.
And like he was the face of the Hawks. Like Horford and Josh Smith were there, but like it was Joe Johnson's team. And even in Brooklyn, he was really good. Like Darren Williams was the star. Like that's when I got into basketball. And Cross, I've been a Nets fan for a while.
Yeah.
Even through the bad years. But yeah. I've had watched a lot of Joe Johnson. And Joe Johnson's really good. And he's got like 20,000 something points. So he's got plenty of points to get in.
Yeah, I think he'll get in. These ones are just like they're definitely Hall of Famers. And do you think they're going to be? I think these first three will probably be top 10 all time, but or the last one I think will just be top 5 in its position of all time. But LeBron, KD, and Curry, do you think they're top 10 all time?
Yeah,
I think they are. I think for sure. And then the last one, Chris Paul. I think I think he's probably about top 30 all time, but I think he's like top 10 in position wise.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think LeBron, KD, Curry are all top 10, but Chris Paul is one of those people. I think he's top 5 in his position, top 30 all time.
Yeah. All right, then these are the younger players that right now they probably wouldn't, but in the future they could. These are going to be we can do these more rapid fire just cuz like there's no like statistics to back it up really right now. Embiid, I think he will.
I think he will. I think he's going to get MVP this year. That'll help a lot.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'd have to agree. It's one of those things like you take a kid at 16 years old, like just you teach him basketball. It's a very similar story of people we've seen in the past. And he comes in, obviously the first couple of years with all the injuries and trust the process, it's like more of a meme than it was actually a positive contributor to his case. But at the same time, he came in and he's shooting threes. He's under the hoop. He's dominating. He's huge. He's bodying people. I mean, he's everywhere. Embiid is everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Let's go quickly answer these. So Simmons, I'm going no.
Nope. I hate him. He's my least favorite player.
Chris Middleton.
I think he will.
I think maybe. I think it's a maybe. It depends on how far him and Giannis go.
it's his efficiency for me. I mean, like his efficiency is insane. And he's a solid contributor, very consistent.
LaMelo? No, I don't see LaMelo getting.
I can't even make a decision on him yet because we thought Lonzo was gonna be really good, and he did look good for a little bit, and then he just.
I think LaMelo's gonna be a solid player. I don't think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer by the end of his career.
We need more time out of him. If you look at Michael Carter Williams, he had an insane rookie season, and after that, it was like completely downhill. You can't tell based off rookie season.
And Tyreek Evans too.
Yeah, exactly.
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm going no. I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer.
I think he'll squeeze in.
Rudy Gobert, I think yes.
Yeah.
I don't have him in there.
I don't know. He's got a few defensive player of the years, and I think if he can even just slide a finals, he could get it.
I don't know. I think it's Shaq's choice.
I'm so biased. I hate Rudy Gobert.
I think
I just can't stand him.
If Rudy gets in, it's up to Shaquille O'Neal. Just saying.
CJ McCollum, I'm going no.
Nah.
Zion, I think he will. If he stays healthy, I think he will.
If he stays healthy, yes. If he gets injured to the point where he starts missing like half seasons, then no.
Yeah. Luka, or wait, no, did you answer the Zion one?
I think it's a maybe. I think it's kind of like a Gilbert Arenas. I don't think Zion's going to play that long, but I think he's definitely going to be good enough to get in.
Yeah. Luka, I'm going definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no debate, really.
Trey Young, I think he will.
Yep, I think Trey will. If he has at least 2 more seasons producing at the level he did last year and this year, I think it's a lock.
I think he needs to get some accolades too. If he gets some accolades and is pretty dominant like Steph and Dame has been, I think then he could.
He just needs consistency. That's all he needs, and he'll be really
good. John Collins, no chance.
Yeah, he might be an all-star a couple times, but definitely not Hall of Fame.
No. It's one of those things with John Collins. For me, if a player never has an opportunity at being even top 10 in MVP voting, I seriously don't think they belong in the Hall of Fame. And John Collins will never, ever, ever be top 10 in the MVP race ever.
Zach LaVine, I don't think he will.
I think he will.
I don't think he'll get accolades.
I think he reminds me of T-Mac. Like, I think he's gonna be like T-Mac.
I think he'll have some good stats. I think he'll have some solid stats for a few years, but I don't think he goes anywhere.
I think he'll get some all-stars and some scoring titles, maybe.
Devin Booker, I think he will.
Yeah.
Especially that 70-point game really helps because now he's on the chart. He's on that.
Yeah.
He's like Trey too. He needs to get more consistent.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton, I think he actually will because I think him and D Book are going to be a good duo in the future. So I think he actually will, like, way in the future. Like, we're not seeing it right now, but I think he will develop into it in the future.
I can't say anything. I can't make a decision on that. I mean, I agree with you. I think there's a chance, like, especially down the line. But as of right now, it's like I'm seeing a great player. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not seeing anything that's like Hall of Fame worthy. But like you said, years down the line, who knows what he could develop into.
If they stay together, he's got potential too.
I'm thinking it's just purely because of that duo. I think he'll get in because I think they'll be a dominant duo.
Yeah.
Hayward. This one I struggle with. I don't think so. I think if he actually gets like some more accolades, he could, but I don't think he will.
What do you think, David?
Hurts to say, but I don't think he will. I think he might get another All-Star, but I only think he's going to get one more. And he might get to the playoffs with the Hornets because they're in the play-in, right? I think if the season ended right now, they'd play Chicago for the play-in. So if something like that happens and they get to the playoffs, if he can even play just kind of good in the playoffs, it might help him, but I don't think he will.
See, I don't think he will either, but it's one of those things. If he gets like two more All-Star selections and he can, lead Charlotte to maybe 2-3 playoff appearances, it'll really help his case because you look at the beginning of his career, with Utah and what he was able to do there. He played very well. Comes to Boston, obviously the whole injury. He worked his way back from that, and then goes to another team and starts to really play well again. And if he can continue it for 2-3 more seasons, I don't think he will, but there's at least a chance.
I'm gonna put these two together because I think both of them will get in. Brown and Tatum, I think they're gonna be the duo to beat in the future. So I think they'll both get in because I think they're gonna kill it for years to come.
I agree. I have no argument there. I agree.
Dave, you agree?
I think Jaylen Brown and Tatum. I don't think they're gonna stay together. I think they're definitely gonna break up at some point. But I think Brown will definitely get in. I think Tatum will definitely get in. But like, there's something about Tatum's game where he just gets really lazy sometimes, and you can see it. Like Jaylen Brown usually goes 100% for a whole game. At least, like from what I've seen, like Jaylen Brown works really hard both ends. Sometimes Tatum kind of just gives up on the defensive end, which kind of hinders his game. But I've seen him figure it out, and I'm sure he will. And I'm pretty sure he'll be a Hall of Famer eventually.
Kemba, I'm going with no.
No.
I think he's on the decline of his career, and I don't think he did enough. I mean, he did a lot in Charlotte, and he's done a bunch for Boston, but I don't think he's done enough. Tyler Herro, I don't think so.
Absolutely not. I mean, what he did as a rookie was incredible in the playoffs. I mean, like, as much as it pains me to say, because he did it against Boston, that was a great performance.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good player. I just don't think he'll.
He reminds me a lot of like a Ginobili.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good player. I don't think he'll be a Hall of Famer because I don't think he'll get any accolades.
He's gonna be one of those guys that like doesn't really do anything like accolade wise, but like you're always gonna tell your kids like this kid was nasty. He was. So
I think he's gonna be like a. I don't want to say DeRozan because they have way different play styles, but I think he'll always be like consistently like, oh, he's a good player, but he's never done enough to like get over the hump. But Bam Adebayo, I think he will. I think he will because I think he's gonna start racking up some accolades once some of the older stars in the league clear out. But Ja Morant, I don't think if he stays healthy he could. Like I think I think he's gonna be like a D Rose. Like if he can stay healthy and be good, like he could get in.
Yeah, it's just he's such an explosive player and such an aggressive, like attack the basket kind of player. I could see him getting injured badly, but at the same time, if he doesn't, all the power to him. I think he's a Hall of Famer at that point if he keeps up this kind of play and doesn't get hurt. But there is that risk because of his play style. It's like Westbrook, Westbrook has never really had one of those significant injuries that kept him out for so long that it altered how we view him. So if he can have a career similar to like Westbrook, then I think he's in.
I think he just needs to like put weight on and take that pressure off his legs. I mean, like you kind of can say that about any young player, but like Ja's a twig. Like he's gonna hurt himself. Just him and Zion are like opposite. Like Zion's gonna hurt himself because he's too damn big, and then Ja's gonna hurt himself because he's a baby.
Yeah. Last one, Jaren Jackson. I don't think so. I mean, if him and Ja Morant stay together, they could be a pretty good duo. But and he could, but I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either. Like I agree. I think it would be a good duo. I think who knows? They could even win a championship if they added a couple of pieces. Like we see some people on that team develop into some really solid cornerstone pieces. But it's one of those things that unless they go and win maybe like 2-3 rings, I don't think Jackson's getting in.
Oh, actually, I have one more. Michael Vosi. What are we thinking?
Absolutely not.
He's an absolute clown. I don't think he gets in.
Hall of Shame. Shoots like Shaq. Smells bad. His arms are fake.
I don't know.
He wears tank tops for fun.
He takes 2 black and white pictures. So.
Oh, that's like ew.
Yeah, shut up, Vosi. Vosi, you're a Hall of Fame in my book.
No, you're not. I'm gonna take his book and I'm gonna burn it.
All right. Good episode, boys. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you to David and Joe for joining me today. Yeah, no problem. Shout out Celsius and Drink True. Go check them out. and we're gonna have a couple giveaways coming up soon. So be sure to be on the lookout for those. Yeah. So peace, boys.